Welcome back. This is Plus TV Africa, and my name is Elsie Godwin. We're moving on to the area of health for business. We all know the popular saying, health is wealth. With me in the studio to help us understand the connection between health and wealth, among other practical insights, is an elite panel consisting of Dr. Timothy Akimurele, Chief Executive Officer of EHAI, and Adesimbo Ukiri, MD CEO of Avon Health Limited. Also, we have Femi Olaleye. He's the Medical Director at Optimal Cancer Care Foundation. Before we get right into this conversation, let's see a bit of statistics. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Okay, let's start with understanding health is wealth and how strong this phrase is. Let's start with you, Mrs. Adesimbo.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be on the program once again. And, you know, I know sometimes it sounds as if it's a cliche that we use, you know, regularly, but people should consider that, you know, their health is actually the greatest asset they have. It's the greatest earning asset that they have, and the state of their health determines their ability to use their body, their brain, their mind to generate an income and to generate revenue. So at the very basic level, no health means no revenue generation. No health means no ability to create an income for yourself. So that is one of the reasons why health is wealth. The second reason why health is wealth is that, you know, no matter what disease condition you're looking at, preventive is actually always cheaper than cure. So when you maintain your health, you ensure that you live healthy, you have very healthy practices, your lifestyle ensures that you are healthy, you catch things, you know, at the beginning stages and take good care of yourself. It means you'll spend really, really, really very little on healthcare. But if you don't take good care of yourself, if you don't, you know, have good practices, good lifestyle, then you will start to have all these health conditions that require medication, require other interventions, and, you know, you just end up spending a lot of money. So health is wealth. Okay, so let me come to Mr. Akimurele. We also have a phrase where they say time is money, and sometimes people use that to to justify the reasons why they don't take time to take care of themselves. So what would you say about time being money?
All right, thank you very much. Well, that's kind of like a paradox, because if you don't take care of yourself, you won't have time to make money. You understand? So because if you're sick, you're going to spend your entire time, you know, feeling sick. In fact, what I tell my people is that once you're sick, you can't think of anything else apart from getting well. You can't think of, that's the only thing on your mind. Every other thing becomes secondary. Whatever contract you're chasing, whatever deadlines you have to meet becomes secondary, because health is everything. If you're not feeling fine, you can't do anything. So when you say time is money, if you don't take care of your health to enable you make the money and use the time to make the money, you're going to spend that time taking care of your health. If you don't, you understand, take care. And like she said, the basic things is just to go to health promotion, health prevention, basically speaking, and they're really inexpensive. They don't cost much money. It's just awareness and an understanding and enlightenment, and getting people to know that things you can do that can make you live healthier lives and actually convert that time to money.
Okay, Mr. Olaleye, let's get right into it by understanding how business owners can employ a strategy for growth to include promotion of health.
Yes, following on the previous two speakers, Simbo and Tim, they pointed that we've established the fact that health is wealth and time is money. Now, if you run a business, you're basically running a business to make money. And if you have not taken care of yourself, then you'll be in big trouble. Particularly when it comes to MSME. You know, usually they're one-man businesses, they're small enterprises. So if you, as the owner of the business, you're not there, you cannot make money, because you cannot delegate. You have to physically be there because it's a small organization. Now, how do you now, as a business, have a strategy to take care of that? You have to, first of all, recognize that you are the primary #1 asset of your company. So you have to look at around you. If you're a woman, you have to look around you and say, what are these things I must do on an annual basis that will ensure that I have a good healthcare profile for the year. So first of all, you need to be fit and healthy. You need to eat well. You need to not skip breakfast. A lot of people think, oh, I could quickly just grab a cup of coffee and then run out of the house. No, you are the primary source of intellectual property, investment of your company. You are the #1 chief executive officer of your company. So you have to take care of yourself, feed yourself first. Then have a weekly menu of, either exercising or jogging or walking, whatever it is that keeps you fit, apart from your diet. And then book an appointment with your doctor to get if you're a woman, get your cancer screening done, which is pap smearing, or get your mammogram done if you're over 35, making sure you do this preventive healthcare test that we know are available and not as expensive. If you're a man and you're over 40, make sure you get your prostate cancer done, assessment done, get your blood pressure checked regularly, and of course, make sure you keep your weight down. We always assume that it's women that are interested in their weight and fitting. So you have to look around you. If you're a woman, you have to look around you and say, what are these things I must do on an annual basis that will ensure that I have a good healthcare profile for the year. So first of all, you need to be fit and healthy. You need to eat well. You need to not skip breakfast. A lot of people think, oh, I could quickly just grab a cup of coffee and then run out of the house. No, you are the primary source of intellectual property, investment of your company. You are the #1 chief executive officer of your company. So you have to take care of yourself, feed yourself first. Then have a weekly menu of, either exercising or jogging or walking, whatever it is that keeps you fit, apart from your diet. And then book an appointment with your doctor to get if you're a woman, get your cancer screening done, which is pap smearing, or get your mammogram done if you're over 35, making sure you do this preventive healthcare test that we know are available and not as expensive. If you're a man and you're over 40, make sure you get your prostate cancer done, assessment done, get your blood pressure checked regularly, and of course, make sure you keep your weight down. We always assume that it's women that are interested in their weight and fitting into nice size 10 dresses. No, we men, we go around with these big fat tummies thinking it's a sign of being successful. No, it's a sign that is heading you towards cardiovascular accident at some point. So men too also need to pay attention to that. So it's a strategy that as long as you're running a business, you're thinking of your balance sheet at the end of the month or the end of the year, you're thinking of your profit and loss account, you also must know your numbers. You must know your numbers when it comes to your health. You must know what your BMI, that is your body mass index, which is a ratio between your weight and your height, to be sure that you're within that and to be able to keep that within what is acceptable. And of course, making sure that you pass on that same information to people around you. Because if you rely on your staff to give you some returns and they're taking time off sick, and you've not looked after them, you've not given them an opportunity to register with maybe an HMO to make sure that their cost of care is really, really reduced, then you're going to spend more money because they're not going to be at work. They're going to ask you for more money to take care of their health. So these are strategies that you must build in, apart from the box standard, looking for money and then looking for facilities and loans to drive your business.
Okay, I would love to get Mrs. Ukiri's take on MSME's attitude towards health insurance. But before that, we have a video of another of our entrepreneurs on their thoughts on how health and business go together. Let's have a look.
My name is Ahadi Nyale. How does health affect your business? Various cases arise each and every day that you find an employee got injured while he was at work, or he or she was at work. So did he really know the safety precautions or the safety measures that are supposed to be taken while at work? As an organization, or rather as a company, you should have a way of dealing with such issues, because once you lose an employee or once your employee gets injured, your organization will not perform. And what are the benefits of having health awareness campaigns in our organization is the cost of paying for medical insurance also, it will reduce down. So take for example, this is a pen, and if one part of this pen is not functioning well, let's say it doesn't have the ink, you will not be able to use it. So it is the same when you look at your employee. When your employee falls sick because of maybe the environment is not that conducive for his or her health. So each and every organization, I believe, should have an insurance policy that covers all its employees for the productivity of the organization to
Okay,
go
that's
high.
a contribution from an entrepreneur from Kenya. Okay, I don't think there is so much for you to say. She's basically repeating all we've said. But the question I asked before we went on that break, MSME attitude towards health insurance, how is it playing out right now?
Honestly, we've seen their attitude towards it change in recent times, but the majority of, MSMEs are still, the owners and drivers of those small businesses, they still believe that, their wealth is something they don't have to think about right now, and they think it's also something that they can't afford to do anything about for the employees that they have. But what I like to remind them of all the time when I speak to them is that, you yourself, you can't even afford to be ill for one day because you're so involved in the daily operational activities of your business that being away from work for a day or two, talk less of a week or months, deprives you of crucial income. So if there's anything you must guard zealously, first and foremost is your health. And the best way to do that is to take out a health insurance plan. And I let them know it's also not unaffordable. It's not too expensive. For a health plan as low as about 20,000 a year, you can cover almost all the ailments that could possibly happen to you at a relatively young age. In addition to that, I also say, even for your employees, what it costs you when they don't come to work directly impacts your bottom line immediately, because your organization is not so large that it can absorb days off as per normal. If you have an organization that, exists and runs with about 500 people in their workforce, or they have 1,000 people, 3 people being ill and not coming to work, or 10 people being ill and not coming to work is not a big deal. But when you're an MSME and maybe you just have 5 people, or you have 10 people, or you have 3 people, one person's absence for a week does an incredible thing to your cash flow projections. So, health insurance is affordable. There is a reason why it exists. And I keep telling them, you think it's easier for you to walk into a pharmacy and treat yourself. That is the best route to actually nurturing some condition you might not be aware of within yourself and allowing it to grow until it becomes a crisis. When you have a health insurance, one of the most immediate advantages is that you don't fear going to the hospital because you don't fear the bill. So it's really important, that they begin to, at least those that haven't done so, change their attitude towards it. We have subscribers to health plans from all kinds of sectors now. We have schools. Sometimes we don't have a lot of staff, but at least they've thought about taking good care of the health of their workers.
All right, before we go, time is not on our side, but Mr. Akimurele, I wanted to touch on where we begin and continue the journey of making health investments a business culture, especially for not so big business owners. Very quickly.
Excellent. Thank you for that question. So what I like to do is to first of all start. There's a saying that says that the wealth of a business is dependent on the health of its people, of its workers. But I go beyond that. The wealth of a business is dependent on the health of its employer and employees. So you take it from 2 perspectives: the owner of the business and the employees and the employees in the business. So just like she has said, and what just to add to what they're saying, you cannot extricate the importance of a healthy workforce to the bottom line. It is so key because everything is around the productivity, and more so for MSMEs. Like she said, there are very few staff, so the productivity of every single one of them is very key. If one of them is sick or absent from work, or even if one of them is underperforming because he's a bit ill, like statistics show that, look, if an employee is 20% emotionally disturbed, emotionally, not physically, just emotionally, maybe she has a problem here, she has a problem at home, it reduces the productivity by 10%.
Okay,
do you understand what I'm saying?
So
and that's just emotional. So it goes
sure we'll
beyond
carry
that.
on this conversation either online or having you back on the show on Plus TV Africa to continue the conversation. And this is how we round up this segment. We still have 2 more segments while we celebrate the World MSME Day in collaboration with Leapworld Limited. We'll be right back.